Hello everyone, welcome back to Creatives on the Couch. Today we have the CEO of Delta Academy Performing Arts, Dianne Hughes. Hi.
I'm so excited that you're here. We've got Miss Dianne finally on our couch. Are you well?
I'm very well, thank
You
you.
look very well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So nice to see you. So we're going to just literally go right the way back to the beginning. We're going to take you on a bit of a journey
Yeah.
through your life. You know, our audiences want to know, what makes people tick and what made them creative. So are you ready for this?
Okay, right, well, here goes. I've always been, I suppose, a little bit of an entrepreneur and always been to dance class. My mum always took us to dance and drama classes. So at 13, I lived in a little Welsh village and I thought, hang on a minute, I'll teach the rest of the village to dance. So I hired a village hall, and the lady who did all the renting and the hiring out was so impressed that we wanted to do this. She charged me 10 pence in those days, a long time ago, for the hall, and a lot of village kids came, and so the 10p's went to pay for the village hall, and we put on little shows for the village. So that's how it all started.
At
13.
Wow.
I know. We put on shows and copied adverts and
Gosh, that's brilliant.
I know. And so later on in life, after carrying on with my dance training, I actually went into nurse training down in London. I actually went off to be a nurse. Got a little bit disillusioned after 10 years of not being able to spend more time with the patients, and everybody, the nurses had to become mini doctors, and anyway I thought that's it. So I decided to do once a week dance classes and advertise them to the town, and they took off so much. I didn't have any dance qualifications apart from my own dance, no teaching qualifications.
Okay.
Got to about 100 pupils, and I thought maybe I should get a few dance qualifications, a few teaching qualifications. So set about doing my teaching qualifications, and so 38 years on, and I've many qualifications. 600 pupils come into the dance school.
Wow.
A new venue 6 years ago, which has transformed Delta into a very different picture, great big community picture.
Yeah, because you started off. Was it right that you started with the church hall,
With the
or did you have
church hall.
something before that?
No, we used to hire little venues and village halls before that.
Okay.
And then my dad was a builder. We lived next door to an old chapel that was pretty much derelict. And I said, what do you reckon, Dad? Should we buy that? And and I can have it as a dancing school. £17,000 later, and a big old chapel. We converted that, and
It
we
was
stayed.
stunning, though,
It
wasn't it?
It was a lovely big old organ in there,
Yeah.
with records going back to everybody, paying £1 so we could buy this organ from the village.
Yeah.
And it was right on the steelworks and the coal mines. Everything was in that area, so lots of employment really. Since they've all been closed, so we re-roofed it. I was on the top of the roof with my dad, re-roofing, flooring it, doing everything, and we set up there and we stayed there for 25 years. With it being a small village, parking was always a problem, no car parks, fights with our neighbours. I parked outside the gate, and we've had cars rolling down the hill, and oh dear. So and in the end somebody fell over a lip, sued me, and I thought, something's telling me here,
Time
Like-
to move.
time to move
It's
on.
like that
Yeah.
thing, isn't it?
It's
We
like-
spoke about divine intervention.
It is,
And that's
Yeah.
kind of what it is.
that little push.
But you had a good run. What you said, 25 years?
years.
That was good.
25
£17,000
years.
well spent.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Sold it for 103.
Oh wow.
Wow.
And then I ploughed it all back into leasing a place. We moved into a town centre, just out on the outskirts of a town, and it was an old garage, 6,000 foot full of oily floor, oily walls, and not too brilliant a roof. And so we put every penny in that. I designed it so that we could have a nice big community space for the parents sitting, which is where Happy Hedgehog Foods, which you've also spoke about.
Oh yeah, that previous
We've got
episode with
lovely-
Happy Hedgehogs, of course.
Yes,
Yeah.
where there's a cafe and little farm shop. We've got textiles and fabrics from a previous business,
Yeah.
put it all together, a nice big community space, and behind that, you would never know it was there, would you? You've seen it.
No.
You would never know it was there if you didn't go down through this one door. Then this TARDIS opens up, and we've got 5 dance studios.
Oh, wow.
Sprung floor for the ballet dancing, sound room. Well, query
Yeah.
sound room, but it's our singing room, come recording room,
Yeah.
big space where we do aerial silks for circus workshops, and
But it's all mirrored, isn't it?
gymnast
You've got
mirrors,
these
yeah.
Oh, gosh.
It's
Dance floors.
unbelievable.
Sounds it.
Seriously, you
Yeah.
would absolutely love it. And then you go down to the very last room, don't you? And it's like walking into a theatre. There's the stage there,
Oh my
and
gosh.
you have what you have created is magnificent.
Yeah.
It really is. Considering, I mean, did you do some videos of doing
Walkthroughs.
when you had did you take a vehicle in and drive it round before you did it all?
Well, we sort of like signed the contract October 31st-ish. And on December the 5th, there was great big garage doors. So I drove a van with scenery, laden van, through the whole building, unloaded the scenery at the back on the 5th of December. And on the 9th of January, I opened as a dance school.
Oh my God.
The walls went up and
Wow.
mirrored
Oh,
and
gosh.
When you have
everything.
600 pupils, you have some nice dads.
Of course.
And
Yeah.
and we just put the plea out there. We had these walls, which I'd seen on a programme where I think it was houses for 100 grand or something like that. And we had all these it's sort of like wood, pressed wood. I can't think what they call it now. So it's just pressed wood. So all the walls.
Oh, yeah, the panels, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So all they went up, and obviously within those 4 weeks we didn't have proper ceilings. The kids were there. There was no heating. But we build them hard in Wales, and
Definitely do. Gosh.
That's Wrexham for
I
you.
the kids one day, they were supposed to be singing, and I went into the singing room. There was a filing cabinet. I thought, where's the kids gone? I put a carpet down for them to keep a bit warm. And they were all sat behind the filing cabinet with the heater on them like this. Come on, guys, get up, do something. What's wrong with you? You're not cold. So yeah, but nevertheless, it's built up, and it's evolved to what it is today, which is an amazing place, even though I say so myself.
I mean, regarding sort of the community, obviously you went into an area that they weren't used to this kind of thing, were they?
Definitely not. No, I've been told since that I'm the only person that's ever gone down into this area and actually invested in it.
Right.
So it was lovely, and it is a deprived area in Wrexham, and it's one of the most deprived in Wales. It's a housing estate of 13,500 people, so it's big. It's on the edge of the town, and some people actually said, well, if you're going down there, I'm not following you, when we moved.
Oh, really?
Oh gosh.
And so we said, okay, and I'll never know how many people perhaps didn't follow for that reason.
Yeah.
But on the whole, I would say 95% of the people did come, and kids come and go anyway.
Of course,
so
yeah.
you'd never know why they left, and I wouldn't even, attempt to find out why. There was one member of staff that said they wouldn't, but very quickly we established ourselves. And what was hard was to try and get the locals saying, look, this is a place for you as well. This is a nice area for you to come. I'd see parents go past screaming at their kids, the kids running. I said, why don't you come in, why don't you come in? And I was trying to drag them off the street, saying, come and see this. And then we'd be putting on little bits of shows or something. And I'd say, you could come and have a look. It was really hard, I think, for them to think that, they were worthy of this. We had a big sign saying professional tuition in performing arts, and I think it was hard for the locals to think of it as theirs.
Yeah.
And even to this day, we have 2 or 3 people will come in to the cafe area, didn't even know this place existed, only lived down the road.
Wow.
And it's every day we find new people feeling they can come in.
Wow. I mean, obviously I've been there. You're going to have to, go because it's just a remarkable place. It really is just a remarkable place to be. And I've always described it, and I've known you and APRA for a very long time now, and it's like going home.
Right.
If you feel that, it is a hub, isn't it? Everybody kind of knows everybody else. When I, walk in, the kids will be like, hi Reece,
Nice.
and it's really, really nice because, I mean, how you've decorated it inside, it's incredible, isn't it, really, what you've done?
Yes, and in the first place you walk into, it is a cafe. It's a big space, and we've got the craft shop and all the fabrics and the bits and pieces. We've got the cafe with all amazing homemade cakes, and like it's becoming a bit of a farm shop as well, because APRA from the cafe also makes all her own produce. And then we've got top hats and, I don't know, you name it, candy canes at Christmas hanging from the ceiling and all around the edges, because we love antiques and things like that. And for props, you need authentic props. I'm obsessed with setting stages in the right era.
Yeah.
So if it's a Victorian era, we'll have the typewriter, we'll have the phone, the right
nice.
phone. I love my phone. Loads of phones. You know, you name it. I just bought this wonderful little lamp the other day because it's such a gorgeous, unique, vintage.
Really?
Yeah, you can see it. It's beautiful. And so it's there. Suitcases, which then if you've got a show, the step ladder comes out, quick dust. and we get the cases down, or the right teapots, or the right...
It's like Wonderland, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, because you do a lot of events for the public, aside from the shows, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. But you put so many events on, whether it's psychic nights, and you do what was the one you did recently? The tasting and the Alice in Wonderland evenings.
Yeah.
It's a whole creative hub then, isn't it?
It's an area that could be developed.
Yeah.
And I just wish I had more of me, really, or somebody else that wanted to say, because, you know, we're flat out doing what we can.
Yeah.
I've got everything to do with the Mad Hatter's Tea Party. We did them for a few years, for Mother's Day and stuff like that. It's there to be taken, you know, let's hire the stuff out. I can't help but make businesses out of things, you know what I mean? So, you know, we can do Mad Hatter's Tea Party, like I say, we do events when we can. This is Saturday night after you've been working all day, working all week. You know what I mean? There's not many hours left in the day you can do stuff.
Yeah.
But it's there. Like I say, APRA's tasting nights, we only have to mention it, and you've got 40 people, and then we transform the place with lovely tablecloths, candles, and we have a lovely evening, don't we, Ruth?
I have been to the tasting nights. They are
and it's
phenomenal.
lovely. And everybody comes, they have a good time. And for a lot of parents and slightly older people maybe, they don't have anywhere to go. You can go to a restaurant with your partner or your friends or something, but it's the odd occasion. And so this is becoming somewhere where actually a lot of people, they don't all know each other, but you can actually go, have a laugh, take your own drink.
Yeah.
Even the police officers come, you know. They're
Yeah, absolutely. You have politicians turning up, but you know.
Politicians, yeah. Mark Drakeford walked in the other day just to buy some vinegar, because when he was doing a visit of Wrexham, we actually gave him a bottle to take away with him, because APRA just won the 3-star in the Great Taste Awards. So we gave him a bottle to take away, and he just happened to turn up at the cafe with his daughter and son, just to buy some. So
but I think your outlook is, you know, you're so giving to these children and these young adults who have very, very little, and obviously everybody calls you Miss Dianne. You're like the I suppose like the.
So I haven't watched Crossroads in a previous.
Miss Dianne. You're like the in some ways the fairy godmother to all of these kids, because you bring them all together and you show them that they don't have to be stood on the corner of a street. You know, which we're going to talk about in a very short moment, because we are now going to go to a quick commercial break here on Creatives on the Couch. When we come back, we're going to find out more from Miss Dianne. Yeah.
Welcome back to Creatives on the Couch. We are still here with the amazing Dianne Hughes. What you've created sounds absolutely amazing. But what I want to know is, what actually inspired you at age 13? Why did you decide you wanted to do this? Like, what was it? Because 13 is a very, very young age.
I know. I don't really know. I think because the love of performance. I'm not particularly a performer myself, but I can make other people do it, and I like creating those spaces and got the ideas, and with the right team around me, which I have got. I've got an amazing team around me, and most of the teachers are teachers that have come up through the dance school, gone off. We've got one head of music in a senior school, one teaching. Well, she's a LAMDA examiner now. LAMDA is the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art. She's actually an examiner now for that body, which is unbelievable. She works for private schools. Everybody around us is absolute professional in the
But look at some of your students who have been through you as well. I say students, but who have been. You know, some have gone off to LIPA. You know,
they go
all over the place.
All over the time.
You know, you're giving them this footing to follow their dreams, and then they're taking what you've given them and they're flying and running. I mean, you know,
we've had
talent.
The White Cat from the show, the musical Cats. The White Cat for the last 10 years has been one of my pupils, and so down to earth. You know, I think what we do there is say, you know, this is you as a person. We don't have a lot of clicks, and then I say this like, they don't get above themselves, but in a nice way.
Okay.
We don't say,
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
down.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
try
yeah.
and build them up,
Yeah.
but in a grounded way to care for others and to appreciate what
That's
everybody
good.
brings to the table, whatever the disability. And you'll always see them helping other people. And it does sound a bit cliche, but it does work, you know. Even Andrew Lloyd Webber wanted Hannah, the white cat. He even wrote in a book, "There will not be another white cat." And a mum's there saying, "Hannah, have you seen what Andrew's written in your book?" "No, I haven't seen it. I'll come and have a look in a minute."
Wow.
Yeah.
And, you know, he obviously loved her because
Yeah.
she's, you know, beautiful, brilliant dancer, obviously. And what was nice, we gave her those skills. And as a school, we're not there saying, "I want my child on the stage." If they want that, then they can go and get an agent and try and get them on the stage themselves.
Yeah.
We give them the basic technique, the very good ballet training, the correct
But
drama
I think
training.
you teach them respect for
Respect,
the
that's
business
important.
and integrity
important.
as well, because there's a lot to be said about having integrity in this business, you know. And from me, of all the years that I've worked alongside yourself and Martine and Naomi and Apra, I watch how you are with the young adults and what you teach them. About respecting themselves, you know, and other people, and there's a lot to be said about that. Because you go into a lot of these places and it's all ego.
Oh
Yeah,
gosh,
I know,
yeah.
You know.
we compete against a lot in
Can you
competitions,
imagine?
and it's
Oh
really
yeah.
hard.
Yeah, I've
And
been to
you've
the
never done
competitions.
that.
You know,
No.
see some real little divas for me.
Oh,
4
there's
years
divas,
old.
there's mothers,
Yeah,
the kids sometimes are not nice. So we tend to try and frequent the ones with similar ethics to ourselves.
So what's the age group then? What's the youngest?
2.
Oh wow.
2 years old. Some of them
Gosh.
will still come in and happy,
That's
you know, running
cute.
around.
Yeah.
This year they're all little bumblebees, and they've all got little bumblebees.
Lovely.
Up until we do an associate drama group, so even if you're in college, in a local college studying drama, you can still come to us and do. It's just that little step up from the kids drama groups, even though they go up to like 16.
Yeah.
It's something they could do a bit more serious, tackle serious topics. They've just done DNA, which was a.
But you'll never turn them away. They'll always keep coming back,
Yeah, well,
won't
we've
they?
just had a college student phone me now saying, "I'm in Wrexham in college, there's nothing here, I'm desperate to dance, is there anything I can come to?"
Nice.
She's just come along this
Yeah.
Saturday, was a bit taken back by the place because there's not usually, it's massive, you know, hub of hundreds of people coming and going all day, you know.
Now you have set up a recording
Studio.
haven't you?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, even though it has been a dream to do it, we'd
Yeah.
never actually set it up. We'd always had a music room
Yes.
where you do your singing lessons, but as regards recording voices and things like that, we'd never done it. We'd never really got round to doing it. And my son Bradley, who was 19 years old, he very sadly took his own life. And he loved the music. He loved to sing. He was always singing in the bedroom and things like that. So I thought, right, this is it. Maybe. I mean, like I say, you can't change, you know, you can't go back in history. That was his path, and you know, I don't believe anything that anybody could have done would have made any difference to that.
But he was a remarkable guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he loved his singing.
See, he was a remarkable guy. He was a lovely, as I describe him, you know, from the years that I knew, he was like a gentle giant, wasn't he? He was, you know.
He was always too big for his age, wasn't he? He was 6'3",
Oh,
and
wow.
he was big,
Butch,
and he was
yeah.
He was a big
lad, yeah.
You know, a lovely guy. So, you know, after that, you know, I know what you guys went through, and I know what Ricky went through, you know, your daughter. But from all our conversations, and we spoke for hours, didn't we? You know, how you turned such a negative into a positive to help people.
Yeah, so we set up the recording studio, and unfortunately, very soon after that, COVID hit.
Yeah.
So it all sort of like went on hold again. But
Yeah.
since I've been in contact with a men's group who's looking for somewhere to go in our community space. Now we have lots of women's groups, well, craft groups tend to be women. But there's men's groups out there, and somebody came in looking, and they've got this. I said, "Oh, actually, we've got this space here, and I'm building out on the back as well, hopefully to do upcycling and things like that." So I showed them the space, what my plans were, my view is. There's a little piece of land next door, which is council owned, and I've been pestering them for 5 years to give it to me.
You'll get it, of course you'll get it.
It's on its way. It's on its way. I think it's mine. So
That's my girl.
Yeah. So we've got things in the pipeline as well. But this men's group, I said, listen, we've got this space. And it's got the recording studios there. It's only a desk with some things like that. But they can listen, they can sing, they could somewhere they could go and for Bradley, I thought I would do that for other people, maybe in his situation that might like some, the same as they could come into the cafe. The cafe's full of single people, often sitting, having coffee. They feel happy to come in on their own, and we'd walk past, hi, how you doing? Have a quick chat about what's going on. Or, you know what I mean?
I think you like helping people, don't you? That's your thing.
I suppose, deep down. As a nurse, once I got to the higher nursing qualifications, it wasn't for me. I wanted to be with the patients. I'd get letters galore saying, thank you helped me do this. Didn't even remember them. You helped me understand. You came back and talked to me when nobody else did. Did I? So I guess it's in me, in that side.
Yeah, definitely. I would say so from what I've learnt today.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. And I think this, now with the situation in the world, and there's girls having lots of problems, and especially since COVID, a lot of anorexia going around.
Okay.
And I'm finding that we are valuable space for people to come and talk, and for in that class sometimes we spend a bit of time, especially the senior girls, if we want to sit and have a chat. They always love to hear what I've been up to. Guess where I've been today? I've been talking to such and such. They might get that lamb next door, and they're in it with me. I want to do a carnival. We want to get the cultural bid next time. I'm in the middle now of a huge big committee thing, and I want to put on a carnival. I want to end it with a food festival, and I want to end it with and they're like, whoa.
Yeah. We did that before, I mean, we did that huge event, didn't we? And there was all the music and all the dancing, and the barbecues going, and
Wrexham were down to the last 3. We had nothing to show for it, but it was our first attempt. So but I'm finding now more than ever we need to be talking to the girls and the boys if we have any. It's mainly a girls thing, and just trying to get them through life, and they feel confident enough to actually just confide into us. We've got one off now. She's absolutely gutted. She can't be with us. But it's her health.
I think it's brilliant, because I think the arts is the best way to express yourself, isn't it? Whether it's through singing, dancing, poetry, spoken word.
Yes.
So I think it's a form of therapy for some people, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, you've hit it right on the head. Then rather than going and sitting in a doctor's waiting room and everything, go and express yourself, and I always say, it is okay to cry, and to show that you are emotional, and it is okay to say, I'm not okay, and people like you and APRA are there to say, well, actually, there is a support network here if you need it, and you put on the most incredible shows. Let's be right, your shows
We've got a high standard. We do have a high standard.
I mean, from Peter Pan, Scrooge, Aladdin,
you name it.
Pantos, Beauty and the Beast, coming up. Your shows are spectacular, aren't they? Really,
Yeah, and it's great for them to have that outlet to actually get on the stage, and with so many shy people, the mums said, God, they wouldn't even say boo to a goose. Now all of a sudden they're eating more, or they're talking more. The teachers in school are saying they do this. It's really important that the parents do carry on taking their children to these things. And with being where I am, I won't allow poverty to stand in the way. If I see a mother come in with 4 children, and I know damn well they're not going to be able to afford £7 a lesson, one for each one to have 1 lesson, let alone one to do gymnastics and then do dancing and then do street dance as well as ballet dance. And she'll say, what can I do? I said, well, I know it's impossible for you to pay for all that. So you pay for 1, you pay for 3 lessons, and that's maximum, and then you can come to what you like. And, we've had counsellors come in, parents have brought counsellors in to meet us, so you need to see what's going on here, because half the time there's more people not paying than there is paying. And so these kids then can take part. It's important for me that people can take part and not... not be one of those that can never afford it, because you hear that a lot, don't you?
Yeah,
especially
and
from the older
peer
generation.
pressure as well, isn't it? Peer pressure. I suppose you're cutting all of that out. If they're all going to school and everything, and well, they can't afford it because they don't know, because that's private between you and the mum, which I think
now
is a
with
really
refugees
nice thing.
and things like that coming in, they'll come and the languages, the amount of different nationalities is incredible. So
what's next for you? What do you see yourself going to?
My piece of land.
You're gonna get your piece of land. Wrexham Council, give her the piece of land.
Parking. We want a garden for the dementia club we've got. We've got potting plants in the car park. We've got a dementia club. I want an outdoor fitness area, mostly a big community space.
Okay.
Because we want to make dinner. We're trying to create dinner for the people, local older folk.
Yeah.
We're trying to do 50 at a time, squash them on the table. I want a place where we can have a little commercial kitchen so APRA can cook properly, do our vinegars, a place where they can all have dinner, the dementia club can have their dinner, they can have a garden, we can have extra parking. watch this space. I'll come back in a couple of years' time.
No, absolutely. I know you will do it. I know you. I mean, when we spoke last time, you were saying I'm going to build a theatre, and I'm going to build
I just need
this,
a big place for
and I'm
that.
going to build this, and
that's coming. The town's going to do that for us. I think on their own.
You can absolutely do it. You know, if you look at what you've achieved, you know, over the last few years, whether it be Crazy Ladies or whether it be, you know, Brad's recording space, whatever you set your mind to, you absolutely know.
I've always wanted to be that place where people could come and train. We've got the cafe doing barista training. We've got the retail with the dance school. We've got the fabrics, and we did start setting up as a training centre, but it hasn't gone. You know, I feel everybody's got their path, and we're on that path. You don't always lead there. Sometimes it goes off here, and you've just got to follow that and not get too hooked up on where you think you should be. Follow the path.
But I think you learned that, didn't you, with Crazy Ladies? You know, obviously Crazy Ladies went, and then you went straight back into focusing on Delta, and then you've got the Happy Hedgehog.
It just takes you to the place where you're going to be, and you have to let that happen, and don't be panicky about natural progression.
Exactly, but I love this idea about the dementia side of things, you know, because it touches so many people, and
a lot of the time it's for the carers. They need to talk to people.
Just absolutely, but I mean, thank you so much for being with us today. I knew it was going to be remarkable. I mean, you know, in the 13 years that I've known you, I just love you more every single second. So thank you for being here. You'll get it. Give her the piece of land, Wrexham Council. I hope you've enjoyed that episode. Like Dianne Hughes, amazing. You, stunning as always. Hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we will be back next week with more adventures on Creatives on the Couch. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.